Hey guys, Cami for the season finale of the originals, Season 2, Episode 22, Ashes to Ashes, and damn, I can't believe we're already at the season finale. I mean, this season went by so fast, but I was definitely, obviously looking forward to this finale. I mean, this season has been so consistently amazing. It hasn't had one bad episode all season, and definitely, I just wanted a really good finale, and what I got was an awesome, badass finale that I thought was so satisfying. Absolutely, loved every minute of this finale. By far best episode of the season. There's not really a clear idea of where we're going next season, but I thought the way they concluded the season was amazing. There's a lot to talk about, as usual, and let's get into it, because I really want to talk about what happened this episode. And I love pretty much everything that happened in this episode. So it basically starts with Klaus, and he's watching Dahlia prepare her ritual to draw the power from hope. Now, Klaus is impatient, because of course he's not really working with Dahlia, because, he's tricking her into basically getting the ingredients he needs. And Dahlia begins the spell, but elsewhere, Elijah and Cami are discussing Klaus's plans. Now, of course, Cami doesn't know about his plan. She doesn't know about Klaus's plan. And Cami is about to tell Elijah how they're going to kill Dahlia, but Elijah stops her because basically he tells her of Klaus's plan, and we find out what Klaus's real plan is. Because basically, Klaus is going to get Dahlia to link with him, and he's going to buy time for them to find the right ingredients to destroy Dahlia by linking himself with her. And after they finish linking, Klaus stakes himself with the dagger, and they both are put to sleep as Freya awakens. So he did all that just to save his child, and I thought that was awesome when we saw that. I was just like, that is awesome right there, and I was already into the episode from there. So Marcel anxiously watches over Rebekah's real body, begging for her to wake up, and Rebekah's now back to her real body, because obviously she stabbed herself in her witch body, so, in her Eva Sinclair body. So basically, her real body begins to wake. Basically, she does wake up after she took her own life, and she pops up in her coffin just like Rebekah would, and I love that moment. I thought that was awesome, and I love seeing Claire Holt again. I know that this was a limited appearance, but for what we got, just seeing Claire Holt again is so worth it, because obviously we know that Claire Holt doesn't want to be on the show as much anymore, so I like that she is finding time to be on the show. That's definitely something I like that Claire Holt's doing. And she gave another amazing performance this episode. And Marcel looks at her, thankful that she's alive. You see how much he loves her, and I thought that was awesome when we saw that. And he tells Rebekah that Klaus compelled him because he knows what Rebekah means to him. And basically, Cami tries to, and I thought that was, really good that we saw that, because, we see how much he loves Rebekah, and I thought that was great. So Cami's trying to calm Elijah, who's fuming with anger because he really has no idea if this plan's going to work. And he says that Klaus will only do what he has to do for himself. Now, this is not true. He is doing this, Elijah, for hope. That's why he's been doing it all season. Every single thing he has done all season has been for hope. And his anger is blinding him from any rational behavior, but Rebekah's able to calm him down and gives him the address to find Hope, which I thought was really good. I love this episode. They all band together to save Hope. That's something I thought was awesome. So when he arrives, Freya's holding her in her arms, trying to calm her, because they need to keep Hope quiet and safe so that way Dahlia doesn't find her. And basically, they both speak about the failed spell that had the wrong ingredients, because obviously their spell did not work. So instead of Freya's blood, they need the blood of Esther. Now, not Esther, in the other body that she was in, real Esther in her real body, and to do so, they must revive the original body and bring her back to life. Now, the only person that can do that, of course, is Davina, but of course, Davina is practicing earth magic as Vincent watches over, and she wants to bring Cole back. She's not interested in bringing back anyone else, so they have to somehow convince her to do that. And I thought this one scene here was amazing. I love the scene between Vincent and Davina, and I thought this was really good overall. Because Vincent's watching over Davina, she only has a one-time use of the Ancestors' power, and she wants to bring back Cole, and Vincent's trying to convince her to not do it. He warns her about using it to bring back Cole, and I love what he says here, that even though the Mikaelsons while she doesn't trust them, the one thing that she needs to know is, and of course, she's talking about how Cole is different than all the Mikaelsons, which I can kind of understand. I mean, yeah, they do attack each other, but at the end of the day, a Mikaelson will always back another Mikaelson, so she needs to watch her own back, and I thought that was really good when he said that, because it's true. Honestly, the Mikaelsons will always stick together no matter what, even though Davina doesn't understand that. They will always stick together, and there's nothing that Davina can do about that, because that's just how they are. They'll always stick together, and I thought that was an awesome line that we saw that, and I really thought I was going to be able to convince Davina to possibly bring back Esther, but obviously Davina's being stubborn. She cares about Cole, and that's just how Davina is. And I don't find Davina annoying. I just find her, like, she's a teenager in love. That's really what she's going to do. I mean, think about it. She's a 16-year-old teenager. She's not really concerned about anyone except Cole. So Rebekah's going over the new plans with Freya, Elijah, and Marcel, and they watch Klaus's body, and the dagger seems to be melting. And this obviously is a problem, because the second that dagger melts, Klaus is going to wake up, and Dahlia is going to wake up. So they must hurry to finish Klaus's task before Dahlia returns, and Elijah and Rebekah dig up their mother's corpse. They aren't happy that they are forced to carry out Klaus's plan. They don't really want to follow it. They want to do their own thing, and they need to get Davina to use her ancestral power in their own plan, and Rebekah feels guilt, and I thought this was a really good scene. I definitely love seeing this. Rebekah feels really bad, because of course she made that promise to Davina that she will stay in her witch form until they bring back Cole. Now, of course, she's now back in her regular body, and she feels like she's broken that promise, and she feels guilty that they must take away a chance to get Cole back, and she's hurt watching her brother continuously be denied love, first Hayley, and now Gia, and I can understand why she's really upset with that. Obviously, Elijah really, honestly, he never gets the love that he deserves, honestly. I really hope next season that happens. I definitely feel like where we're going, that's definitely going to happen for Elijah, and from that line, I really think that's what's going to happen next season. So Marcel and Freya are looking frantically for the ashes, but Freya finds the white oak stake instead, and she quickly puts it back into place before Marcel notices, but they both notice that the ashes are gone, and of course, Marcel's worried that it's fallen into the wrong hands, and basically they have to hurry because he's worried at who might have taken it, which I thought was really interesting, that they couldn't find that the ashes were taken, because obviously if the ashes are taken, their entire plan is failed, and that's not going to be good, obviously. So basically, Rebekah meets with Davina, and I thought this was a really good scene. I definitely loved seeing this. And Davina's obviously not happy to see her back in vampire form, and she really, if Rebekah's trying to reason with her, Rebekah's doing whatever she can to reason with her, and she's returned asking for Davina's help to bring back her mother, but Davina denies bringing her back, and Esther then proceeds, basically, she then proceeds to torture her, and Freya tries to slow Dahlia, and I thought this was a really big scene here, definitely, because for a second I was like, maybe Davina will listen to her, but no, Davina's like, you know what, you're all the same, and it seems like she's gonna bring back Cole, but basically, Davina denies of bringing her back, and basically, we then see that Freya tries to slow Dahlia's magic from melting the dagger, but it's failing. It's not strong enough, obviously. I've said it before. Freya's magic, while she is the most powerful, Dahlia is the most powerful combined, between Dahlia and Freya. She's powerful than both of them combined, so there's really nothing Freya can do. So Freya pulls the white oak stake from her jacket, and before Marcel can stop her, she casts a spell upon him, keeping him put, and one of the things this episode definitely dealt with is, can they trust Freya? It's pretty obvious that after this episode, yeah, they can trust Freya. They really can. So Davina starts her spell, channels the ancestors. Marcel is trying everything within him to stop Freya from killing Klaus. It seems like she's going to, and it's an amazing scene. I thought for a second she was going to put the dagger throughout Klaus, but however, and Marcel's telling her that if you do this, he dies, Elijah dies, Damon dies, Stefan, everyone in the Vampire Diaries dies. Anyone that Klaus has ever turned to a vampire, they die. So he's trying to stop her as best he can, and obviously if that were to happen, the show would be over, so, I mean, I don't think Klaus is ever gonna die. I think that honestly is how the original is gonna end, is that Klaus is gonna die, but basically, Davina's spell has worked, but it looks like and I thought this was an amazing twist, we found this out here. Davina's spell, it's worked, but she hasn't brought back Cole, she's brought back Esther, and it seems like Rebekah must have turned on her, and that's what it seemed like was going on there. And also, we see that Klaus and Dahlia have now woken up and they're alive again, but she is pissed at him, obviously. And with Davina's powers, it's likely that she's going to seek revenge from the Mikaelsons for rendering what seemed to be her only chance to bring Cole back a failure. So Klaus also addressed Freya as sister upon awakening, and I thought that was good that he said that, because I think that was the moment that Klaus realized that he can trust Freya. I think that really was the moment. Even though she was about to stab him, he knew why. He knew that his plan worked, because obviously his plan was to get his entire family to fear him and then get them back on his side. And honestly, that plan has worked, because now he realizes that he can trust Freya, and I thought that was awesome that we saw that, and I love that. So Rebekah walks in, Davina asks her what she did. Obviously, Davina thinks that she was the one that did it, which I thought she was, but in a very shocking twist, which this was awesome. I loved this twist. I thought this was amazing when we saw this. Elijah is the one that did it. He assures her that he was the one who switched the ashes, and Rebekah has to take Davina out, but not for long. And basically, Davina, I love the line. She's like, you might bring Cole back, but not today, and basically they now have Esther back. So their plan, that Klaus's plan, is working. And I thought that was awesome that Klaus's plan is actually working. Because, of course, their plan wasn't going to work. It was never going to work. But Klaus has a good plan. It's going to work. And I thought that was really good that Klaus's plan was working. So basically, I thought that was really awesome. So as Dahlia tries to kill Klaus for his betrayal, he's saved by Marcel, and upstairs to check on Hope, and when Marcel asks why she didn't take Hope, he learns all Dahlia needed was one drop of blood, and he promises to find Dahlia, but he and Klaus will settle it up after. So Marcel has to beg Davina to help him find Dahlia, which means she's working for the Mikaelsons, which, basically, I wasn't really sure if he was going to be able to get her to do that. It kind of seems like Davina's not going to listen to Marcel. She's going to listen to Vincent now, because Vincent's the one that gave her this position now, and she's going to listen to him. She's not really going to listen to Marcel anymore, which I kind of like seeing that. I mean, that definitely is something that I think was, I don't know if I saw it coming necessarily, but I'm not surprised that that happened. So basically, after this, we see an upset Cami confronts Klaus, and I thought this was, I loved this scene. This was amazing. Cami confronts Klaus about his devious plan, and he tries to admit his feelings for her. I really thought in the scene he was going to tell her he loves her, but the task at hand is what he discusses, because it's just too much for him. What he cares about now is saving Hope. All that, he can tell her he loves her, a lot. He can tell her he loves her. It's not going to change anything, though, and basically, the task at hand is what he discusses, but vows to make it up to her, and I thought that was a really good scene. And Elijah promises his mother death after she helps them take down Dahlia, and you can tell that Cami is separated from what's happened. By the way, I love the way Cami reacted. She's like, "Hi, Cami. Hi, Klaus," and I thought that was really funny when she, when she was pissed at Klaus. I thought that was kind of funny, the way she reacted at that. Definitely something I love is the way they've made Cami. I mean, they haven't really given Cami a lot to do this season, but they definitely have made her a bigger part of the story, which I think is really good. So, I definitely feel like at some point Klaus is going to confront Cami about his feelings, but it's going to just take a while. Definitely, I think it's going to take a while. I think right now the task at hand is to save Hope, and that's what he needs to do. So Elijah promises Esther basically Esther death after she helps him take down Dahlia, because obviously they're going to kill her because she wants to kill them. She wants to kill them. She still has that whole, if you remember, she still has that whole plan, obviously. She's the same Esther we saw in the beginning of the season. So obviously she still wants to kill Klaus and all of them. She still wants to do that. And they know that. And they know that they can hold her prisoner. So what they're going to do is they're going to give her the drop of blood and then they're going to kill her, which is honestly the best thing to do. So, Klaus walks in, and the two butt heads over keeping Esther alive. This is an amazing scene, I have to say. All siblings agree that their mother has no say what happens, however, they aren't happy with Klaus's actions. And when Elijah asks about Gia and Hayley, Klaus simply says that they are collateral damage, which I can kind of see what he means. I mean, Gia wasn't really sure who she was working with, and of course, Marcel's probably the most questionable one, where it's like, who's she working with? Wasn't really on his side. Of course, she was from, Klaus didn't want to work with vampires, and Marcel just wanted to work with vampires, and she wasn't letting them ally. And then Hayley was just being stubborn, and that's why he had to turn into a werewolf. And honestly, everything that Klaus did, I can understand why he did it. And you know, I can understand why Elijah's pissed him as well, because obviously to Elijah, he just felt like he's lost everything that's good for him, and he can't really get love, and, I mean, compared to Klaus, I can understand it. So, Elijah pops him into square in his mouth, and we get this amazing dialogue of betrayal takes place between the two brothers. It's a really amazing scene, and I thought that Joseph Morgan and whoever plays Elijah, I don't know his name, but they gave amazing performance in that scene, and I loved it. So meanwhile, Cami and Vincent, they're now in charge of babysitting Hope while the rest of the vampires and witches try to take down their huge threat, and Vincent's trying to figure out why Cami's sticking around. And I think this was a really good thing that he brought up here, because honestly, why is Cami sticking around? Honestly, I mean, what does she have to stick around for? She's trying to feed him a legacy story. And, you know, she talks about how, oh, my family has, you know, never been here, and I'm the last one remaining. It's a family legend. I need to stay here. But he's just buying it as bullshit. He's calling bullshit on it. He doesn't want to hear it. And Cami tells him that he's making a cowardly move by leaving a young girl in charge of his coven, which, honestly, I can see what she means there. I can understand that. He understands it, too. And she tells him that he should stay and help her through it, which I like that he should do that. And Cami admits that she does have feelings for Klaus, which I saw coming, obviously. I mean, she's always stuck by Klaus' side. If anyone was ever against Klaus, she always stuck by him. She always was the one that was like, maybe Klaus is doing the right thing. I always knew she had feelings for him. I love that she finally confesses that she does. And no, I know people are going to say, they're turning this into the Vampire Diaries. No, they're not. This is not at all the Vampire Diaries. Because the Vampire Diaries, we had this love triangle, this love triangle. There's no love triangles here. This is simply that Klaus and Cami, they love each other, but they can't admit that they do right now because there are too many conflicts going on in their lives. Their lives are just too conflicted, and I'm interested in seeing what's really going to happen there. So, Dahlia is taking Freya captive, threatens her with death. I thought she was going to kill Freya, honestly. Freya's not a main character. I thought she was going to die. And honestly, the whole episode I'm thinking someone's going to die. And Freya says that she pities Dahlia because her ability to love died long ago. Of course, you know, Dahlia really just wants someone on her side, as we know. She is kind of sympathetic, but it's not right what she's doing. So Klaus and his siblings walk before Dahlia can destroy Freya, and with them, and enforce... she pretty much thinks that she can take them down. She thinks that she really is the one that's going to win, and that she has this in the bag, that she's going to be able to take them down. However, when she sees Esther, the look on her face just changes, and oh my god, I love that. The line that Klaus says, where he's like, I'm afraid this is going to be easier than you thought, and she sees Esther in shackles, and I really didn't know what was going to happen here. I mean, honestly, I really didn't know how this whole confrontation thing was going to work out. But we know that these two absolutely, you know, we know that Dahlia absolutely hates Esther for what happened. And the two of her sisters are exchanging glances with each other. And Dahlia laughs in Esther's face, saying that, you know, she's not half as powerful as her, which I can understand. And she plays a smart game by turning the stake into poisonous ash that burns them from the inside out. And it's a crazy scene. I mean, they just start coughing, and there's, like, they start vomiting. I mean, it's really hard to watch. Honestly, this scene was really hard to watch. And Freya's the only one who isn't suffering because she's the only one that Dahlia is going to kill. She's already going to kill her. So Esther and Dahlia go back and forth over whose fault it is that Dahlia is in this position in the first place. And I kind of like what they said here. I mean, they both had really good points. You know, Esther said that Dahlia needs to suck it up because it's something that happened years ago and she needs to get over it. And Dahlia at the same... But I kind of understand what Dahlia said, that Esther should never have left her. And Esther looks at her children dying around her. She distracts her as he helps them, and she decides that she wants to help them. And I loved seeing this, because I never thought that Esther would do this. She decides, you know what, I know that I've been against my children the whole season, but I'm going to help them. I will not let them die. And she knows that she... I mean, if anyone were to kill them... Here's what I was thinking. If, you know, here's the thing. Esther would kill her children, but she's not going to let someone else kill her children. She would kill them, but she's not going to let someone else do it. And basically, I thought this was an amazing scene. Klaus takes a dagger to both of his enemies, but in a symbolic manner, and it's something he's wanted to do all season. I just felt so happy for Klaus. I mean, all season, Esther and Dahlia have been the two biggest threats, while also, Finn, but Finn's trapped in, like, that bottle right now, so I feel like he's gonna come out eventually, but we'll see what happens there. As far as, Esther and Dahlia, though, have been his two biggest threats, and he's wanted to take them down all season, so finally he's been able to take that initiative and take them down, and I thought that was awesome, and I love that he was able to finally take these two down after the whole season. It really felt like we've come so far, and it really felt like we've come full circle with this season, and I love this next scene, because basically... Esther tells her sister that she was wrong for, and we go back to the past, basically. You know, young Esther and young Dahlia, and basically she tells her sister that she was wrong for not staying by her, what she should have done 1,000 years ago, and her children helped her see that by coming together to protect each other, and basically they end up melting into stone. They end up going into stone because they've now been staked, and they're both finally dead. Finally, we can move on from Esther and Dahlia. And I love Klaus's line where he's like, well, I guess we're orphans now, because, yeah, they basically are orphans now. So I really didn't know what was going to happen for the rest of the episode. I'm like, okay, that's kind of interesting. I mean, it was awesome that finally that's how they ended. I like that we did have a conclusion to it. But we had like 10 minutes of it, and I really did not know what was going to happen here. I like that the rest of the episode is more of just transitioning, how things are going to work out overall. Because basically, we now see that, you know, both of the season's threats have been turned to ashes. And it makes sense why the episode's called Ashes to Ashes, because Esther's been turned to ash, and now, Dolly's been turned to ash. And it really also makes sense with Rebekah's line, because Rebekah had that great line at the beginning of the episode where she's like, everything we love, we turn to ash. That shows right there. They loved Esther. You know, they really did love Esther as a mother. She was a great mother, but she just wanted to come after them, and she didn't want Klaus to become this high. She didn't want Klaus to be a vampire, obviously. So, basically, they had to kill her. And honestly, they would have killed her. And I love seeing the way this was done, because we see that the city's quiet for once. Like, there's no action going on. It's like, is this New Orleans? Like, what is this? And Marcel and Elijah pay their respects to G and the other fallen vampires, which I thought was really good, because we still do have them allying together. I thought that was really good to see. Klaus and Rebekah are the only two who seem to be celebrating. You know, everyone else has pretty much left Klaus, which is understandable. I mean, Elijah's left him, Elijah pretty much doesn't even agree with Klaus anymore. You know, he's not really on his side anymore. And I can understand why he's not really on his side now, because they just have very different looks at life. And Rebekah's the only one that's going to ally with him, and I thought that was really good that we saw that. And basically, Klaus vows to raise his daughter with the help of his sisters as one big family, and basically, I thought that was really good that he asked her to do that. Rebekah opens her eyes to the fact that Elijah's no longer around, neither is the mother of his daughter. And, you know, Hayley's gone, Elijah's gone. She's just really shocked that they're both gone. She never realized that they were gone until now, and I thought that was really well done. I like seeing that scene where Rebekah's just looking around, she's like, oh my god, they're both gone, because she didn't really think about it until now. So I thought that was really well done. So, basically, Freya now healed Rebekah's past body to be a whatever vessel her sister decides. She can be a vampire or a werewolf, and I love what Freya says to Rebekah. You know, Rebekah really, she was the first one to trust Freya, and since she was, Freya's going to give her something in return. What Freya's going to let her do is she's going to let her choose what she wants to be, and her sister decides, she promises her sister freedom to be human and have the life she always wanted. And this is something that, you know, she's always wanted to have. She always wanted to be human. She just, I understand what Freya, because honestly, Rebekah's been through the worst out of all of them. She was back. She was raised, one minute she's raising hope, then she thinks she's back and she's going to help them out. Then she's tricked by Cole and, you know, gone into someone else's body. Then she's possessed. I mean, she really has been through shit this season. And I love that Freya's trying to give her a break. So, a symbol calls to Marcel, and basically, Marcel, it reveals that Rebekah is in her witch form for now. She's back to her witch form. She's not her human self, which I thought was good, because I thought Claire Holt did a good job, and I can understand why she picked that. I mean, she feels bad for what she did to Davina, and plus she's used to it, and plus she's most powerful in it. I can understand, and she says she's not really making a choice right now. She's going to wait and see what happens, and I definitely feel like she is eventually going to make that choice, but it's not going to happen till next season. So I guess we'll have to see what happens next season when she does make that choice. I don't know when she's going to make that choice, but I definitely feel like it's going to happen next season. So she aims to bring Cole back, but leaves Marcel with a kiss, and she basically, her mission now is to bring Cole back and convince Davina that they should bring Cole back, because now she can. So, basically, she leaves Marcel with a kiss as she leaves the quarter, and basically, I feel like next season, so her and Marcel are together. They kissed, and I'm assuming they're together now, and that's awesome. If they are together, I'm very happy they are. I've wanted them together since, you know, since he confessed his love to her, and I'm very happy that they're possibly getting back together. I think they are, but I guess we'll have to see what happens there. So, Rebekah's going out. She's going to help Davina find Cole and bring Cole back. Well, it seems like that's what she's doing. So Cami and Klaus, meanwhile, they're getting together for a drink to ease the pain of his sister leaving, and for once, Klaus actually shows emotions, but they get the best of him, and you can't say the words, and it seems like he's about to tell Cami that he loves her, but he just can't say it right now. He just can't get through it. He's too nervous, and his emotions get the best of him, and I like that he is starting to show that he has feelings for her. He just needs to express it in words. Come on, Klaus, you're so close. Like, you're so close. I know season 3, they're eventually going to confess their love for each other. I know that's where we're going in season 3, and I can't wait to see when that happens, because I thought that was an amazing scene. He was, like, this close to confessing his love for her. So Elijah's waiting for someone, and we see that Hayley's back, and it's probably because Klaus undid everything, because his plan worked, so she's now back to her human form under the moonlight. The only time she's allowed to take her human form, this is the only time, is when she's under the moonlight, and I like that they explain that, because I'm like, how is Hayley back? And we found out how. So, basically, she makes Elijah promise her that he will be there for Hope after he promises, because obviously she can't be there for her, because she's now a wolf for the rest of her life. And basically, she wants him to be there for Hope after he promises her to fix the curse that was put on her. And basically, that's what his storyline's going to be next season, to fix this curse that was put on Hayley. So the episode concludes, and I love the way the episode ends. We finally get to see Klaus be that dad he's always wanted to be. He finally gets to be there for Hope in Hope's life, be that dad that he's wanted to be for her, be with her, and I thought that was awesome. That finally, after all the seasons, he finally gets to be there for her, and I love that. And he says, sometimes the worst endings aren't really endings at all. And basically, he talks about how there's a story of victory, loss, and new allies and new enemies. And Elijah returns to make his promise to Hayley come true, while Klaus promises everyone another chapter be told. And that's how the season ends. So overall, I was really satisfied with this finale. There's a lot of directions we're going in for next season that I definitely want to talk about. First of all, let's talk about Klaus and Elijah. Is Klaus going to agree to what Hayley wants them to do? I mean, definitely I think Klaus will ally with Elijah. My question is, will Elijah really do this? I mean, it seems like Klaus just wants people on his side. Honestly, I felt so bad for Klaus in that final monologue where he's just like, the king's all alone. Because honestly, he is all alone right now. He's all alone. He has no one. And next season, I definitely feel like it's going to be a lot more divided. Like, this person's going to be here, they're going to be here. It's not going to be as much the family allying together. It's going to be more them doing their own separate missions. I mean, Klaus and Elijah, they're now going to basically, they have to make amends now and tend to Hope and be there for Hope, because obviously Hayley wants Elijah to be in Hope's life, which I can understand why she wants him to be there, and it really shows me. Now, she doesn't seem to be concerned about Jackson. She not once mentioned Jackson, so is she breaking things off with Jackson? I mean, I'm not really sure what's going on there. As we know, Jackson also is a werewolf, but we'll see what happens there. So I think that's really interesting what's going to happen with Klaus and Elijah. I really hope they do make amends. I'm just not really sure if Elijah wants to. Cami and Klaus, I hope he confesses his love for her. Definitely, it seems like they are right there. I mean, really, he was this close to telling her he loved her, and he couldn't do it, and I can understand why. I just hope he is able to. Davina. Are they going to be able to convince Davina to work with them? I mean, I understand that Rebekah wants to save Cole, and I feel like if she does that, that will get Davina to get back on their side, because they need to get Davina on their side. Honestly, she's the most powerful witch now. We see how powerful she is in the end of it. Also, is Vincent going to work with her? I feel like Vincent now needs to stay and work with Davina, because Vincent's now the new Marcel. I mean, Davina didn't really seem like she trusts Marcel as much as she trusts Vincent, so Vincent's now the new Marcel, and he's going to now hopefully train Davina, because obviously, I have to say, Davina is not the most experienced in what she does, and she's really not using it in the best way she can. I mean, if she really wants to be as powerful as she is, she has to deserve it, and I don't really think right now she does deserve it, because all she wants to do is bring back her boyfriend. That's all she cares about, and I understand she's a teenager, and any teenager would do that, but she really needs to think about what the people want her to do, because there's more to just bringing back your boyfriend. There's more she needs to do besides that. So, we'll see what happens there. And then finally, Rebekah. I love where we're going with Rebekah. I hope Rebekah does choose if she wants to be a vampire or Witch or human. I mean, I guess we'll have to see what she does end up choosing. But Marcel and her, are they together? Are they going to be together next season? I feel like that's definitely going to happen. Freya as well. I like seeing Freya on their side. I feel like Freya will stay by Klaus, but now it seems like she's more Rebekah. And I can understand why, because Klaus never really showed that he trusted her. I mean, there was that... The only time he trusted her was to save Hope, and now she's done that. I don't really think she's going to work with Klaus anymore, because obviously... That whole thing, that whole chapter of their life is over. They don't need to protect Hope anymore because there's no one that is coming after Hope. And also, who's going to be the big threat next season? I feel like the big threat, I feel like the big threat next season is going to be Davina and all of them. I feel like Davina is going to become the next big threat because she's against all of them right now. And I feel like now the big threat is just going to be, how do we repair all these relationships? How do we fix everything that Klaus has done? Because honestly, it's not Klaus's fault. It's just what Klaus did that caused a lot of tension to happen. And I think next season is going to be, how do we bring all of that, that family dynamic back? How do we get that back? And how do we resolve these issues as a family? I feel like that definitely is going to be next season, where we're heading next season. I'm really looking forward to that. I was hoping there was going to be like some big villain reveal, but I kind of like there wasn't, because this is a very different season. The season has been about family. Last season was about action and power, alright. This season was about family, and I think that's why this season was as successful as it was. Do I need to say the season was amazing? You guys know I absolutely love this season. It was so consistent. It never had a bad episode. It always was amazing. It always had an amazing episode. It delivered amazing episode, and the originals never had a bad episode. The only bad episode was like in season 1, that one weird episode they had with like the bar episode. That was weird, but I definitely feel like next season's going to be a very different type of season. While this season had a lot of action, I feel like next season's going to maybe dial that back a little bit. There's definitely going to be action, but it's going to be more of how do we repair everything, which I'm looking forward to seeing what does end up happening there. But that's basically my review. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys saw of this finale. I can't believe the originals is over. Seriously, I can't believe that was the season finale. I mean, it was a great season finale. I love reviewing it for you guys. But now I have to wait till October. So, that kind of sucks because I love the show and I'm really going to miss it. But I will see. I'm looking forward to October when the show does come back. I mean, that's the thing that sucks about the CW, is that they wait till October. I don't know why they don't just put it in September, but they always wait till October. So I will see you guys then. Let me know what you guys thought of the season overall. What you think of this finale? Was it satisfying for you? Did you like the way that Dahlia and Esther went out? I thought it was awesome the way they did that. I thought that was really well done. But that's my review. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in my next video, which will be my review for another season finale. It'll be for the season finale of Bates Motel, and I will see you guys for that. Okay, bye.